What's up, everybody? This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs, and today we are talking about Albert Pujols and his return to the St. Louis Cardinals. Before we dig into that, make sure you find us on social media, find us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and find us on Instagram, guys. Huge story that has been a long time coming for a lot of Cardinal fans. For some Cardinal fans, it's been 11 years in the making. So, exciting for the Cardinals. But I think you have to take a look at this from a whole lot of different angles. And I think the biggest one you have to look at is the sentiment of Pujols returning versus the practicality and actual on-the-field type contributions. So the easy one is the sentiment, nostalgia. It's for the first time since the 2011 World Series that you're going to see Albert Pujols with the birds on the bat, number 5. He was introduced Monday at a spring training game with the number 5 in the in the red practice warm-up jersey, whatever, and everyone down there was going nuts for him. It's going to be gigantic for the home opener when Pujols gets announced. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be special seeing him and Yachty together, along with Adam Wainwright, all three, kind of there on their last hurrah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But as heartwarming and fun and all that this is, the Cardinals are still trying to win a World Series, ostensibly. If you saw earlier video, we're not convinced of that, but that's a whole other topic. Anyway, what will Albert Pujols bring to the St. Louis Cardinals? So at 42 years old, he's one of the oldest players in the league. So that means, a lot of experience. So when he is on the bench or before games and during spring training, mentorship, teaching the young guys how to do things, little tips and tricks that made him great. Then you have to look at, when's he going to play? So he's not going to be first baseman. The only defensive position he could play is first base, and there's some guy named Goldschmidt who's already got the job. So, it's not like Pujols is going to play, except maybe in some blowout they'll throw him in there in the 7th inning or something to get some work, give Goldie a rest, whatever. And I think that's the extent of what you'll see out of Pujols defensively. With the Corey Dickerson signing, I kind of get the feeling Dickerson may be your DH against a right-handed pitcher, and Pujols, he may actually be the DH more often than not against left-handed pitching. As much as Albert has fallen off in the last few years as he's aged and not been as healthy, the guy still hit .294 against lefties last season. In 146 plate appearances, he had 13 home runs and 34 RBIs. 150 plate appearances, 146. I kind of think it's going to be about that. Maybe a little bit more, depending on luck of how many lefties he faces and just how well he hits. So if the Cardinals can get that or something pretty close to it, .294 against lefties, that right there is good enough. Honestly, you'd love to have some production, but even if he's batting towards the bottom of the order, .294 is fine. Turning it over back to the top with Tommy Edman. I think you have to look at that, and that's really all there is to it. I think for $2.5 million, all right, fine. If there was anybody else out there at this point, I want the Cardinals to go after somebody who's going to make the team substantially better. But knowing that they have failed to do that, all right, fine. $2.5 million. We're what? A week and a half before the season. All right, fine. Don't get crazy with putting Pujols in there in ridiculous situations, knowing his limitations. But all right, fine. And the reason Albert wants to play, to me, is one, just kind of showing up on the Dodgers for a couple minutes. It's just kind of a quiet, awkward ending. I think he wants a final send-off and a legit period on his career. And nothing can do that like returning to the Cardinals. There's also the question of, legacy. Albert Pujols' numbers are outrageous, and he has a chance to move up the rankings on some all-time lists. Just taking a look at my list here with the Cardinals. He has 2,073 hits. That's 5th best all-time for the franchise. He could move up to 3rd place all-time on that list. That would depend on what Yadier Molina does, because Yadi is 3rd on that list. Obviously, no one's catching Stan Musial. Not in this generation anyway. He's 36-30, so he's way ahead of everybody there. He's got his 445 home runs with the Cardinals. He's 30 behind Stan the Man. Again, if he plays 1 year, I can't imagine that happens. But I mean, gosh, let's hope he has 30 home runs. And again, he has 1,329 RBIs with the Cardinals. Also, 2nd place to Musial, who has 600 more than Albert does. But then you look Major League Baseball, just overall totals. He has 3,301 hits. That's 12th all time. If he gets 18 hits, he'll be tied for 10th all time. So breaking into that top 10 all time in hits, that's gotta be on his mind. I'm sure of it. Right now he's got 679 home runs. That is 17 behind Alex Rodriguez's 696. So passing A-Rod for 4th and getting that 700 mark. That would be huge. And that's potentially a realistic number. And then for Albert, he's got 2,150 RBIs. That is 3rd all time. He trails only Hank Aaron, who's not catching, not in 1 year anyway. And he trails Babe Ruth. He trails Babe Ruth by 64 RBIs. I'd love to get 65 RBIs out of Pujols. That would be more than I'm expecting. But maybe it happens. Who knows? And if he does, he'd pass Babe Ruth for 2nd most RBIs ever. So I'm sure a lot of those numbers are on his mind. That's a personal guess. He would never tell you that. He'd probably deny it. But I gotta think that he knows how close he is to some of those accomplishments. So I think you have that. And then you look at what tons of Cardinals fans have hoped for. Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, and now Albert Pujols reunited, the core of Cardinals teams of 10, 15 years ago that won the Para World Series, all doing, the last dance, one last ride, whatever you want to call it, retiring together. It's neat. It's, perfectly placed bow on all of their careers, as it were. So overall, I don't know how much he's going to add to the team in terms of challenging for a division, but the excitement is crazy. Our posts on social media have exploded and been shared by, half the city, St. Louis, it seems like. And for the Cardinals, the attention that this will bring and added TV and added ticket sales and what have you, they are going to more than make up the $2.5 million that they are paying Albert Pujols. So it's a win for them, no matter what he does. That's all I've got for my take on Albert Pujols signing with the Cardinals. Make sure you keep it tuned in to Under the Arch Sports as we check in on the Blues at their playoff push. We're going to preview the season for the Cardinals pretty quick here, see what we think they're going to do. And as always, little Mizzou thrown in there. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope to see you guys next time.